Hello, everybody. This is your humble host, Nate. First off, thank you for listening to Meaningless, but I want to make a correction before this episode starts. You'll hear me say that Donald Trump was charged with 99 felonies when really I could only find 91 felony charges. And as we know now, he is found guilty of 34, which we will be doing an episode on that. I have read all of the guilty felony counts and the New York District Attorney's Office, their statements of facts, and we will be recording an episode regarding that, hopefully the day after you hear this episode. I want to apologize to you, the listener, for saying that he was charged with 99 felonies rather than 91. So anytime I say 99, just think 91. Because 99 felonies, it makes him look like a demon, when really he's an angel riding a unicorn of innocence across the rainbow of integrity into a pot of golden exoneration, because he only has 91 felony counts. So, anyway, enjoy the episode. Bobby.
Yo.
Bob Ross.
Hey.
Bobby, how you doing?
I'm doing all right. How you doing?
Do you remember when we traveled all the way down to wherever the fuck, Terre Haute, and when Terre Haute.
I think it's Haute, Terre Haute,
Yeah.
for the eclipse.
Total eclipse of the Haute is what it was.
Yeah.
But
I remember that. It was a good day.
That was really cool.
That was a good couple days.
Yeah.
It was a good
And
time.
what do you think of when you think of eclipses? Like what things, what online trends or online memes that you might have seen do you think of when you think of an eclipse?
Oh, I don't know. Nothing really springs to mind. I'm not much of an online person.
So, there were a whole lot of memes going around
Oh, I'm sure there were.
about the eclipse.
Mhm.
And a lot of the memes had something dark colored
Mm-hmm.
covering up something bright colored.
Okay.
You know, most of them were like fun little things. There's one where somebody had taken a video of their cats, and their black cat got in front of their white cat to like get the attention of the owner,
Mhm.
and they just took like the clips, or they took like the screenshots,
Oh, as the cat moves.
sequencing as if the black cat is eclipsing the white
Sure.
cat.
Yeah, it's kind of clever. I like it.
Now, of course, certain political people jumped on this bandwagon as well.
Oh, of course.
And it wasn't over the Terre Haute eclipse.
Mhm.
And in fact, a lot of the memes that you see going around also were not created for that eclipse, because we've had eclipses before and those already existed.
Yeah.
And people thought, well, there's an eclipse going on. I could repost this meme and get some attention.
Sure.
And right and the left did it, and they turned it political because God fucking forbid things don't turn political.
Mhm.
And we can all look back and remember a certain politician when you think of eclipses. Anyway, so I've got a meme for you to look at, and I want you to explain, just in the image, what are you seeing and what does it say at the bottom of the image?
All right. Let's see. What do we got? Oh, we got some pictures here. Okay. All right. So we got Mr. Barack Obama, President Barack Obama, and just a little bit of Trump off to the side. And in the next one, there's 4 frames here. In the second frame, there's a little bit more Trump, still the same amount of Barack. And then in the third frame, there's quite a bit more Trump. He's starting to kind of cover up Obama there. And in the fourth frame, all you see is Mr. Trump, Donald Trump.
And at the bottom, it says...
There's a bunch of stuff over it. I can't.
At the bottom, it reads, "Best eclipse ever." I would
No.
disagree. I
Very
think I
much
might
so.
disagree with that.
Yeah,
one.
very much so.
Now, there's a lot of things I didn't like about Obama. I love Obama
Mhm.
as a person.
Mhm.
Maybe not so much as like a war criminal, you know, which the thing is, name a president who's not one.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I feel like even if we elected Bernie, he'd end up war criming. Like it's unfortunate.
It kind of comes with the
position.
Yeah, it comes with the territory.
It's because America just does whatever the fuck it wants. But anyway, a lot of people will say that Donald Trump was not fit to be president in
No.
the first place. Some people will say that.
Mhm.
I am here to make an argument that he is perfect presidential material.
Okay.
Okay? He is an absolutely hardworking, self-made man.
Mm-hmm.
Presidential material. As long as you ignore the fact that he allegedly inherited more money than he admits to, and while the inheritance tax should have been 55%, he and his siblings somehow only paid 5% on the roughly $1 billion that they inherited.
Wow.
And was accused by multiple investigators of tax fraud on inheritance specifically. But don't worry, self-made man.
Mm-hmm.
Trump only received an estimated $413 million from his father.
Oh, is that all?
Yeah, that's it. I mean, sure, back then it had the buying power of $784,700,000 compared, for
today.
Today.
Right. Okay. Wow.
Controlling for inflation. Sure.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. Sure, it had that.
How did he
buying
survive?
power.
Living off
Okay,
ramen and mac and cheese and
Look.
walking everywhere.
It's not as look. It's oh, okay. You think you're pretty funny, but
Oh, I know I'm funny.
But now, laugh all you want.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, he's still a self-made man because he was working before his father passed away.
Mm-hmm.
It's not as if he was just riding on his father's coattails. He had to start on his own. He had to do his own thing.
Sure he did.
His father only gave him a small loan of $1 million to start his business. A very tiny loan of $1 million, which, yeah, sure, it'd be worth more than $4 million today, but that does also mean that he's downplaying the worth of the loan by 3/4, which one would expect a self-proclaimed businessman would understand is deceitful, even if he is being honest about the loan amount in the first place. And sure, okay, I'll give this to you. During a White House meeting, he gave code word information to Russia, which is the highest level of clearance for classified information. Sure, okay, he did that.
It's a simple slip.
Yeah, a little slip up.
Yeah,
And it's not like he gave it to anybody bad. He just gave it to Russia.
Yeah.
They're not. They don't. It's not as if they antagonize us at all.
Oh, never. No.
And yeah, okay. If you're going to worry about who endorsed who, when people are running for president, you might point out that he was endorsed by former Grand Wizard of the KKK, David Duke, because Duke believes, and he said this, that Trump shares his vision for the future. But Trump is smart. He's smart. He plays 5D chess, Bobby. 5D chess.
5D? What's
5D.
the fifth?
That's right. You know what? That you don't even know. That's how smart he is.
Whoa.
Okay, so
He's got me beat.
and okay, all right. Look, sure, he looked directly into the sun after immediately being warned not to.
I mean, who hasn't done that? Every time there's an eclipse,
Yeah.
there's some idiot out there looking right at the sun.
Kind of like when we went to see the eclipse in Terre Haute.
We all did
We looked right at it, no glasses, nothing, and we just stared right into the uncovered sun.
Yeah, like 10 minutes straight.
We didn't wait
Couldn't
for it
see
to go.
anything the next day.
We didn't wait for it to go dark. Nothing. We just looked right at it. But
Standing there. Can we all see the moon?
and
there
it's, I mean, it's not as if he was warned not to right before he did it. Okay, yeah. In that video, he was warned not to right before he did it. But that's him being tough, That's him being strong. Like he's not going to take some advice from some random person yelling words at him. Hell no. And what really matters though is that like eclipses, like he's not a fucking space engineer. Okay, he's not worried about whatever the fuck goes on out there. Who even knows what covers the sun? Like it just turns dark sometimes. Nobody knows what that is. So he doesn't need to know that because
space station,
that's
right?
space things.
Yeah.
That's stuff out. Yeah, it's probably International Space Station.
Yeah,
it's just a
gets
sign
in
of
there every
American
once in a while.
progress is what that is. And yeah, sure there were many recordings of it happening throughout history. And like these scientists will say it was the moon. Whatever. Okay, fine. Maybe it was the moon. Who cares? It doesn't matter. That's not his job. Okay? When it comes to his job, he's very smart. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
And his job was being president. even though he appeared to have no clue what the nuclear triad is during a debate where he arguably acted like he was an authority on the subject. Now, I understand an average person not knowing what the nuclear triad is.
Yeah,
so
I'm not sure.
Yeah, so like if you're a listener and you're like, I don't know what the nuclear triad is, you're also not running for fucking president.
True.
But the nuclear triad is one of the most important things that. Oh wait, I'm supposed to be being on Trump's side. It's not like the nuclear triad is like a super important thing or anything. It's not as if the triad is, but it's not like the nuclear triad are 3 different ways of delivering nuclear bombs or anything. One being by submarine, one being by land, and the other by air.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's not even. I mean, how is that even a big deal?
It really doesn't sound that important.
You don't need to know that shit. Like, you're gonna be president. You're gonna be too busy, fucking bitches or whatever they do. Like,
grabbing him by the pussy.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So exactly. But I will say what he is an authority on is running businesses.
Yeah, how many? He never went bankrupt or anything, did he?
No. Actually, he didn't.
No?
And he said he did. He flat out said he has never filed for bankruptcy.
I thought he had.
Even though he failed his businesses. Here, it turns out he was right. He's actually not lying when he said he never filed for bankruptcy.
Okay.
Because what he meant was
okay.
he never filed for personal bankruptcy.
Oh,
Yeah.
I gotcha. Okay.
Yeah. See, he filed
I see.
corporate bankruptcies.
That's different.
And like, I'll cover that too. Sure, it happened, but he had other businesses, and yeah, okay, sure, he had 6 corporate bankruptcies, but those bankruptcies, they happened during recessions. Most of them did. Most of them happened during recessions. And sure, somebody might argue that if he were better at running businesses, he might have been able to better navigate the recessions rather than making buildings that are way too huge and expensive to maintain, like the Taj Mahal. Now, ignore those bankruptcies. He's still a great businessman. Okay, he's a great businessman.
Sure.
Like if it, those those bankruptcies, whatever. Okay. So like, he's got other businesses that didn't go bankrupt, and sure, some of them failed. Like Trump University, which turned out to be a complete fraud in multiple ways, and he is still under litigation about it. And Trump Vodka, which he endorsed despite being a teetotaler, and Trump Steaks, which was sold through Sharper Image for some goddamn reason. Because, yeah, when you think food, you think Sharper Image.
Well, sure.
Anyway, it was a smart business choice because, like, he knew that through Sharper Image, he'd be able to sell his steaks. He knew that. It didn't happen, but that was probably out of his control. It was like there was probably like a tertiary factor, because like I know anytime I'm looking through a Sharper Image catalog, I'm looking for like buying food. I am. That's what I'm looking for. And a couple weeks later, I might get some food, and sure, it might be smaller than in the image, but it's Sharper Image. Like they have to blow them up to make them look, that look more detailed because it's and sharp. Now, those bankruptcies, right? Those bankruptcies.
Yeah.
Yes, the bankruptcies. So you might think that filing for bankruptcy, corporate bankruptcy, is a failure of some kind. No. No, that's him being smart. Okay, he's being a genius, because he is trying to protect his own personal assets and investments, and so he is navigating the landscape of business. And even though it looks bad, it's really just him being smart with his money. Even though the New York Times reported that he put up very little of his own money, shifted personal debts to the casinos, and collected millions of dollars in salary, bonuses, and other payments, and that the burden of his failures fell onto the investors and others who had bet on his business acumen.
Rude.
That sounds bad.
A little bit.
I feel a little bit cornered. No. Hey, what about Hunter Biden? Hunter Biden does crack. He does crack, which makes Trump better than Joe Biden.
All right, if you say so.
There's a connection there. Hunter Biden does crack, therefore Trump is a better president than Joe. I'll figure it out. There's probably some way to rationalize this.
Get back to us on that.
But
yeah.
Hunter, he just gets to coast through life because of the nepotism provided by being the president's son or the vice president's son. And Donald Trump's son made a really good point on Sean Hannity when he said, quote, "I wish my name were Hunter Biden." Oh, I'm sorry. He says, "I wish my name was Hunter Biden so I could make millions off my father's presidency." You see, this poor kid
Yeah.
had to be born with the absolutely unrecognizable name of Donald Trump Jr.
No, nobody's ever heard of that guy.
No, like, how's he going to write that name? None of us have even heard of Donald Trump until recently. Like, it's not like he made a cameo on, like, I don't know, Home Alone 2 or something. Like, it's not like he had a long-running TV show, even though nobody was watching it. It's not as if his name is plastered on a building that he doesn't own in Chicago. Like, it's not as if his name hasn't been overinflated in some way. But Biden, you see that shit everywhere, and I totally knew who Biden was, always, ever since I was a kid.
Sure.
Probably. I don't remember it all that well. But it's not like Donald Trump Jr. and his brother are reaping the benefits of pure nepotism through a do-nothing job wherein all they do is receive money from foreign influences, and Donald Jr., not having the prestigious name Biden, certainly wouldn't call himself something absurdly prestigious for someone who didn't earn it, like, I don't know, executive vice president of the Trump organization. I mean, he would be able to do that if his name were Biden,
Right.
and you see, like, if Trump were like this like rich famous guy like Biden is, there would probably be an organization named after Trump, which there isn't. Otherwise, Don Jr. would be executive vice president of the Trump organization. And that would be absurd if he were. And he is. But no, he's not. He can't be. And we know that there isn't, because that would be a conflict of interest if there were, especially if Don Jr. and Eric Trump were still receiving payments from foreign influences and business interests while their father was president. And yeah, sure, all that did happen. But it's not like Trump's sons swore during Trump's campaign that they wouldn't continue this very obvious conflict of interest if Trump got elected. Okay, yeah, they did swear that they wouldn't keep doing it, and then they did, as if they never promised they wouldn't. Okay, yeah, sure. All right, fine. That happened, okay? Sure, I'll give you that. And yeah, Trump might have hired climate change skeptic Myron Ebel to be in charge of the team overseeing the transition from Obama's to Trump's Environmental Protection Agency, but it's not a big deal because, like, it's not like climate change has anything to do with the environment,
Oh, no.
No. Like, hiring a climate change denier to create the transition, to be ahead of the transition team, for the EPA. Okay, all right, okay, that one sounds bad. That one sounds kind of bad, but Trump would clearly not think anything absurd about climate change. Yeah, maybe he said it was a hoax made up by the Chinese to make the U.S. less competitive and lied in 2016 about ever saying such a thing, even though it's very much documented online where he personally posted it. And lying like that might maybe be why PolitiFact had nearly 75% of his public statements rated as some level of false, which is why he called the media the enemy of the people. You see, they kept contradicting the things he was saying. I mean, maybe especially because of all that lying that they kept calling him out on. But he had to call them the enemy of the people,
Sure.
which prompted other Republicans to suggest that the only reliable source of truth is from the president himself.
Oh, yeah.
I don't see any problem with that.
No. Seems like a good plan.
Yeah. You know what's really good is if we just trust the government.
Sure.
We just trust
never
our
lead us astray.
We just trust our leader, you know? And sure. Okay, yeah, the libertarians that voted for him, they want smaller governments, and the Republicans that voted for him, they want smaller government, but they want him to control all the information. Okay, I'm feeling cornered again, and I need you to stop being so aggressive, okay?
Sorry.
All right, so some people might suggest that these things sound like something a dictator would do, but Trump would never want to be a dictator, even though he did admit that he would like to be a dictator, but just for one day. For one day, he said. Just one day.
Mm-hmm.
Plus, he was definitely kidding. I mean, he's a troll. He trolls. You know, he's trolling.
He's quite the kidder, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Even though when it was claimed that he was kidding about building the absurd border wall, he flat out said he doesn't kid. Then later on, he essentially suggested injecting bleach or using it internally because cleaners can kill viruses outside the body. So why not use it inside the body?
Go ahead and give that a try.
Yeah, give it a try. We should look into that, he said.
Yeah, try it.
Yeah. And he suggests this as if he didn't have health experts around who would have certainly thought of that if it had been a practical possibility. Then, when he was called out on it on social media about how stupid that comment is, his defenders had a good argument. They had a good argument, okay?
Okay.
In what I'll have to admit is a massive stretch of mental gymnastics, they brought up that treatments that were almost similar to what he suggested do exist. And that means that everyone who was calling him out, they're the stupid ones. They were the ones being dumb because they don't understand that they do use some of these ingredients that are in cleaners inside the body. You know, like sometimes they put it in the lungs and it kills certain bacteria and stuff. And
they're inhaling bleach, are they?
Yeah. Well, they're inhaling something. They're inhaling something that's very similar to those chemicals, and it helps treat things. And this is definitely what he was talking about. He was definitely talking about these vaguely related treatments, and we know that, you know, because he's very smart. He's very smart. I told you he was smart, right?
Sure.
And he himself said he's a stable genius, and only a stable genius would know if he's a stable genius, and would definitely call himself a stable genius. And he came out and he defended this. He even came out and said that this is what he. Hold on. He went on to Twitter to claim that he was kidding and asked if people could tell the difference between being serious and a joke, completely undoing all the work of his defenders and clearly being disingenuous. But you see, okay, a press conference wherein people are trying to understand what the government has been doing to navigate a horrifically deadly pandemic is the perfect time to make a joke.
Sure.
It is. But really, though, the pandemic that killed millions of people is no big deal. It's not a big deal. Trump said it himself many times, and he sincerely believed it. Even though he was recorded admitting to knowing that the virus was very deadly, even deadlier than the flu, much more times deadlier than the flu, he said, and that he was dishonestly downplaying the severity because he liked to downplay it, which almost certainly led to many, many more deaths and a profound misunderstanding of the pandemic, exacerbating the slew of conflicting yet for certain people somehow convincing conspiracy theories, creating a self-feeding loop of preventable deaths and a group of constituents who will boo him for taking the vaccine that he was promoting in the first place because he's just such a good businessman. And if you ignore all that,
Okay.
He would make a really good president.
Sure.
Or still, he'd make a good president again. But really, he's still president. Because he denies the last election, but he's not a dictator. It's just that the last election was definitely rigged. Which saying that, okay, might sound dictatory. Maybe a little bit.
A little bit.
But it's not like he encouraged a coup. Okay, so he did encourage a coup, okay? And he did nothing to stop it. And he waited several hours before even asking the people to go home. And when he did, he said that he loved them and they were all very special people. He also would not... he would not deny the endorsement of the Proud Boys or the KKK, and during a riot of Nazis that got violent with protesters, he said there were good people on both sides, which was so disastrous that even his PR team said they lost track of him. Oh, but he'd make a great president, though.
Yeah, sure.
Like, if you ignore all that and maybe a couple hundred other things, he'd make a great
just
president.
A couple.
Yeah. So have I convinced you?
Oh yeah, sure. He's got my vote.
All right.
Yeah.
See, I knew I could convince. I knew I could
Trump
convince you.
2024.
That's right.
Good.
Yeah, he's coming back. And he has not had any issues at all whatsoever. And you know what? He definitely
he didn't get impeached.
Yeah. No, and definitely not twice. No. And on top of that. One thing he definitely would never do is something like sexually gross, you know?
Oh God, no.
No, like he's
so far above that kind of thing.
Yeah, that is Bill Clinton crap, you know? And Bill Clinton is a rapist. He definitely is. But
yeah. Trump
has never been accused of. Okay, yeah, he was accused of rape. Okay, he was. I'll give you that. But how many felonies does he have? None, I bet.
You know what? I don't know.
Oh, he's been charged with more than 99 felonies.
99? Why?
But he's innocent. He's innocent of all of them, Bobby. He's innocent of all of them. Yes, all of them. All of them.
God.
And you know something here? Okay, you know what? He's accused, okay?
That is like a hair away from 3 digits. 99. Are you fucking kidding me? Okay, even if he didn't actually do it, even if he was proven innocent for everything, 99 times that they doubted it.
Bobby, come on. Just because you were charged doesn't mean you're guilty. You know?
There's suspicion there. There's a reason that they charged you. Somebody thought maybe.
I mean, what are you what are you talking about?
Once, twice, maybe. 99.
Get that. Yeah, I mean, come on. I mean, who hasn't committed 99 felonies?
I haven't.
Well,
I've committed like 5 at the most.
Not all of us can be the archangel, all right? But Bobby, I'm gonna have to defend him.
Why?
Because you don't know if he actually you weren't. He might. So I'm gonna. How about this? Okay, how about this? He is not like that pervert Bill Clinton. Huh? He's not like that.
No, he's a totally different kind of evil person.
He, you know what? If he were, there'd be audio of him bragging about sexually assaulting women.
Yeah, it'd be way more obvious,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Grabbing people by the pussy.
Yeah,
you know?
how absurd would that be?
He wouldn't be that stupid.
That'd be ridiculous.
Yeah.
He didn't do that.
thing
You
didn't
know,
happen.
it's
No.
and
No,
also
not even before he got elected.
okay. All right. Okay. You know, I just remembered. Yes, he was recorded bragging about just grabbing women by the pussy because they'd let him, and he was in a position of power, and that was even the context of what he was bragging about, and that sounds pretty bad. But Hunter Biden did crack.
Ooh.
That makes see, I told you I'd come back to this. That makes Trump's sexual assaults. I'm gonna move on from that.
Yeah,
I don't know if I there's so he's a lot smarter than Trump will probably be able to explain it better than I can. But
I'm sure he's got a story.
You know where I'm going. You know, like it's fine, whatever. You know,
Sure. We'll just look past all
you
that.
know, the thing they probably asked him to. You know, they say, hey, you know, like that's just the way women are. They'll come up and they'll say, hey, grab me by the pussy.
Oh,
you
sure,
know?
I say it all the time.
Like oral sex. What even is that? You know, like no woman
It's an
wants
amateur show is what that is.
Foreplay, no woman wants that.
No way.
Like just grab them straight by the pussy.
Mm-hmm.
And now that I'm thinking about it, I'm kind of hoping he didn't like yank them toward him with that.
Yeah, me too.
I'm really hoping it wasn't like his handshakes.
There's an image.
But he's got tiny hands. He's got little hands, you know,
That's much better.
and so the women saw the little hands. They thought that wouldn't be too bad. Grab me by the pussy. That's probably what happened.
Sure.
Plus, it's just locker room talk. You know, my friends and I, when we're in the locker room, we're talking about sexually assaulting women all the time.
Oh, yeah,
You
sure.
know,
Topic.
That's just locker
Number one
room
topic.
talk.
Yeah.
And we definitely wouldn't gang up and kick the fucking ass of anybody who said that shit. We definitely wouldn't gang up and kick the ass of anybody who one of our female friends accused of that shit. We definitely wouldn't lure somebody into the locker room to beat the shit out of them if they did that kind of thing, because we all love that stuff. You know, we normal guys, we just love talking. That's locker room talk. So come on into the locker room, Trump, and we definitely won't kick the fucking shit out of you. So he'd make a great president, okay? That just shows how much testosterone he has, you know.
Great
Locker room
moral character.
talk, you know. And he's just playing, you know. He didn't actually do that, even though he sounded like he sincerely did. But I will say one thing, okay? All right. His sons have do-nothing jobs.
Yeah.
They both do the same job in the same position. All they have to do is receive money. So he got nepotism right.
Why can't I get that kind of job? Is anybody hiring for that?
So he knows nepotism. He knows how to do nepotism.
Yeah.
He got nepotism. He nailed nepotism. He knows how to do that, you know?
Yeah.
And one of his favorite people in the world is Jared Kushner.
Okay.
And that's his son-in-law.
Okay.
And when you're the son-in-law of the guy who just knows how to do everything, including nepotism, you know you're going to get a cushy job.
Oh, yeah.
And so this is the job that he gave to Jared Kushner. And, you know, while Don Jr. and Eric Trump are sitting there just receiving money, Kushner, who he likes even more, is just he's going to have an even easier job. Like this, he's got this down. He knows how to incorrectly raise kids and incorrectly treat rich inheritance. You know, and at least he knows how to do nepotism, because all that he assigned Jared Kushner to do was broker peace in the Middle East. Oh.
That sounds
Also,
like a big job.
perform government reform. Handle the opioid crisis epidemic. Handle criminal justice reform.
Wow.
Be
That
the
sounds busy.
Be the liaison to Mexico, China, the Muslim community. Huh.
Poor Jared. Sounds like it backfired. He's getting all the jobs.
I'm starting to think maybe Trump didn't want to give those jobs to his blood relatives because he it's not as if he knows that Eric and Dom are fucking incompetent at everything. God, they look like serial killers too on top of it. Anyway, so he assigned all this to Jared Kushner, but that's fine. It's fine. Okay,
Sure.
that's okay.
I'm sure Jared can handle all that.
Yeah,
I mean, it
yeah.
didn't sound like a lot, really.
He's really smart. And you know how we know he's really smart?
How's that?
Is that he's very quiet.
Ah.
Yeah. Yeah. So like a lot of people report so this is something. So to reassure people, a lot of left-wing media, you guys love your left-wing media, and they're telling you that Jared Kushner and Ivanka Trump, oh my, he got Ivanka right, but he couldn't remember Tiffany's name,
Uh-oh.
who's also his daughter.
Uh-oh.
He also accidentally called his wife the wrong name.
Uh-oh.
That's not good.
So he can't be president.
No. He still can't.
all right, he shouldn't be president.
No,
he's a terrible
he
husband.
is.
He's an awful
deferring.
father.
He's deferring all these responsibilities to Jared Kushner, which is great. This is great news, because he's smart. Okay, and like I said, it's because he's quiet. Like he doesn't say anything. He's MSNBC called him a 3 times listener and like 0.5% talker. Because he takes everything in, and then it goes through his mind and it filters only the good stuff out, and that's what he says. That's why he doesn't talk a lot, and that's why he just listens and he absorbs. That's what he does.
Sure.
And he went to Harvard. And he graduated.
That's a plus.
Aha. Yeah. See? Argue with that.
Yeah, because we've never had anybody awful come out of Harvard.
I'm starting to remember Ted Cruz graduated from Harvard. Oh shit! And the Unabomber. Anyway, okay, but smart people graduate from Harvard, and
that's true. I'm sure most of them are decent people.
Kushner was one of them. That's right. Yeah. And most of them are decent people. Even though Donald Trump said that Mexico is just sending their murderers and their rapists, but he said, I'm sure some of them are decent people. He did say that.
Hey,
he said, I'm sure some of them are good people. He said that, but most of them are murderers and rapists, despite the fact that we did an entire podcast on the fact that cities with higher immigration rates had lower crime rates.
Yeah, those are the good people fleeing the bad areas, right?
That's okay. That kind of logic, that's liberal logic is what that. I don't need to believe all that. Like their country's full of murderers, and they're all coming here to get prosecuted, I guess. Anyway, some of them are good people, Trump said. So he's not racist, okay? And also, you don't have to worry about Trump, okay? So like Trump, okay, maybe he's really bad at a lot of things, and maybe he's done a lot of bad things, and maybe he makes a lot of bad decisions, and maybe he talks like an idiot, and maybe he, gave secrets to Russia, and maybe he can't be an adult at all. But Fox News said that Ivanka Trump and Jared Kushner are going to be the adults in the room.
All right.
Which I guess is probably not good that they felt the need to say about somebody who is becoming the president.
Yeah, I wouldn't take that as a good sign.
But it's probably good, though, that he deferred all this stuff onto the genius. The genius.
How come the
Kushner.
genius isn't president?
He got into Harvard.
Yeah.
Okay, all right, and before anybody says anything, Kushner getting into Harvard definitely had nothing to do with the fact that the previous year his father donated $3 million to the school.
No, I'm sure that didn't affect it at all.
I'm sure that probably didn't even touch their.
It's just a coincidence.
They saw his application and they took him in on merit, just like everybody else. Even though some of the administration were reportedly unhappy that he got in because his GPA and SAT scores did not merit him getting into Harvard.
Ooh.
He's smart though, because he doesn't say a lot.
That's good.
I think. But I guess I don't know because he doesn't say a lot.
Yeah, it might just be hiding the fact that he's a total moron. Nah.
No. There's an old phrase, and that is better to stay silent as not to look ignorant than to open your mouth and remove all doubt.
Mm-hmm. It's a good quote.
Yeah. Every time I hear that, I think I better say something or I'm going to sound dumb. Anyway, okay, all right. Sure, Kushner may not be the savior of Trump being president. Like maybe he doesn't make up for the several dozen things that I mentioned, but Trump, he there's like memes that look good about him.
Mm-hmm.
You know, where he's like muscular and stuff.
Sure, yeah.
And yeah, sure, if you see him with his shirt off next to Obama with his shirt off, it's going to be embarrassing for
Trump.
One of them. But Trump is this big buff man who is going to be the best president. Also, Biden's way too old.
Well, that may be true, but I mean, we've already had Trump as a president, and you know,
Biden
he got impeached.
Biden's way too old to be president. I'm going to look up Biden's age right now and see how
pretty
old
high
he
up there.
is. Biden age. Here we go.
Fortunately, there's no cutoff to be president. I mean, you have to be a certain age to become president, but they're not going to kick you out because you hit a certain number, which is stupid.
No.
Okay. I take that back. The number shouldn't really have anything to do with it. You should have to pass like an equivalency test.
They do. You do have to do that. Yeah. So like you have to take a mental acuity test, right?
You have to stay awake for the whole thing?
You have to take a Yeah, you have to stay awake for a while. And Trump's really good at staying awake. And we know this.
Sure he is.
We know this because he calls Biden Sleepy Joe Biden. Sleepy Joe, you know, because he looks so sleepy all the time. And it's not as if during his court hearings he fell asleep and that it was reported that he might have defecated himself and there was like a flatulent smell in there. But he's not too old, okay? Biden's too old, okay? Trump's this young, vigorous guy that we need. So I'm gonna use the Googler.
All right, put in the Googler.
I'm gonna find out how old Biden is. Okay, so BIDE. If I put a T, it'd be bidet. That fucking turd washer. All right, let's see. Biden age. 81 years old.
Oh, wow.
81. Way too old to be president. Way too old.
Yeah.
You got to be at least like, I'd say 15 years younger than that. That's insanely old. That's crazy old. That is so old.
That's pretty old.
And Trump is a full...
Uh-oh. How old is Trump?
77.
Wow. Really?
Huh.
Yeah, I guess that makes sense. So he's too old to be president, too.
No.
Yeah.
No, he's 4 years younger.
Yeah, 4 whole years. Well, I guess that is a term of president.
Yeah. And Trump would have been an okay age to become president 4 years ago. Biden wouldn't have been 4 years prior to that.
When he was 77?
And,
What?
Holy shit.
Oh, that's crazy. What is that book?
Fear and Loathing on the Campaign Trail 72
Oh,
by
wow.
Hunter S. Thompson. That is so weird.
That's a crazy coincidence.
All right, hold on.
I'd say 77-year-old quarterback.
Yeah. So, okay.
Oof.
Well, he wasn't actually a quarterback at that time.
Okay,
so
I got you.
this is a quote from this. This is like a gift from God right now. By the way,
Okay.
I'm gonna read this quote. And we're talking about how I'm gonna give up the sarcastic character.
All right.
I'm gonna be real now.
Okay.
Because it aggravates me when it goes on too long.
Yeah.
And I've been putting it on the whole episode.
Yeah.
But that was the point of the episode. But
Right.
this is an absolute coincidence because I actually wasn't going to talk about their ages. And then it happened to come up, and this happened to be open to this page. It was a nasty swan song for Hubert. He'd been singing those IOUs to big labor for more than 20 years, and it must have been a terrible shock to him when Meanie called them all due at the same time. But how? George Meany, the 77-year-old quarterback from the Stop the McGovern movement, is said to have been suffering from brain bubbles at this stage of the game, totally paralyzed. Because George Meany was too old, you see.
Oh, yeah.
That is so weird.
That's a pretty random coincidence, yeah.
Exactly the same.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. And that was in 72. So this book, this part of this is going to shock you, okay?
All right.
So in this book, Hunter S. Thompson is following the campaign trail in 1972.
Okay.
And he's sort of, sarcastically in his own way going over certain things and, calling things out when he sees them. And he's drugged up the whole fucking time.
Yeah.
That's the part that's shocking, I think.
Oh, yeah, sure.
But anyway, that was a fucking weird coincidence. I can't believe that happened. So for listeners, in case it's kind of unclear as to what just occurred, I have, I don't know what these things are called, where you can just leave a book open on it.
It's like a display stand, so you can set it to a certain page or whatever, yeah.
And I used to use it for a dictionary, like a big dictionary.
Yeah.
And now I just use it for books I'm reading, and that way I don't lose my place. Because sometimes I'll open a book and I'll find that there's like 3 bookmarks in it. But now I had Fear and Loathing on the Campaign Trail 72 by Hunter S. Thompson open. And as we were talking about Donald Trump being 77, I look over and probably because my mind was primed already for 77, I look over and I see 77-year-old. And I'm like in shock because they're talking about George Meany being old and that his brain is basically going because he's so old.
And 77.
And now we've got a 77-year-old and an 81-year-old both running for president.
Too old.
We've not learned.
No.
We have not learned.
Nope.
Anyway, nobody's going to believe us that was a coincidence, but it purely was.
Oh, it totally was. I saw the look on your face when you saw that. I was wondering what the hell was going on.
That blew my fucking mind because I haven't read this part yet. So that blew my fucking mind. Anyway, thank you all so much for listening. Goodbye, everybody.
Bye.